Wow, George Ezra, everybody. You work so hard. I'll tell you off. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Just in case. And if you need energy, I brought you this. I don't have any, I'm not the 3 Swedish girls or have booze. So I'll leave that for later. The most important question is, those Swedish girls, you would have gone with them to walk on fire as well, I assume, if they said they're 3 Swedish girls, right?
Why is that?
Because you said how lovely they were.
Yeah, they were good. I would, like, they were nice. They were nice. I'm still in touch with them. They're cool.
Oh, they are?
Why would I walk on fire? Where does that come from?
Well, I guess, because in my life, because I'm not cool, if girls said, come with me, I would do anything they wanted.
Oh, okay, it's like a saying. So
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if I'd walk on fire. As you can hear, I'd leave a lot of things up for them, but no, I don't know if I'd walk on fire.
That was such an awesome performance. We've had bands in the Red Bull Sound Space, the full setup, and the energy is crazy, but with just you, the energy was just as great, and we were just so locked in on you.
Awesome, thank you
yeah,
very
it was
much.
really good.
Thank you.
I saw you at Lollapalooza. I was there, and you went on right after the evacuation. Is that right?
Yeah, again, in fact, I was stood at the side of the stage, and I was looking out over the audience, and I was ready to play Lollapalooza. I was excited. And then they said, oh, we're going to evacuate the site. I was like, no, don't do that. Like, come on. Anyway, I said, I was looking out, and it was beautiful blue skies. I said, why do you need to do that? And they said, there's a huge storm. I said, no, there's not. Look, I'm looking. Look at the sky. And then they said, look behind you. And over all the buildings, over the towers, there was this storm. So, yeah, that's the only other time on this whole tour I've performed solo. I had to get up and play solo again, which was strange on that big stage. But people came back. It was lovely.
Yeah, they
good.
did. It was.
Yeah.
It was really good. Really good. Real quick about Bob Dylan. How in the world did Bob Dylan get into your life musically?
Yeah. My dad had a lot of Dylan in his CDs, but I wasn't really paying attention to that. I don't really know what happened. I kind of fell in love with what I heard, and then out of curiosity wanted to listen to what he had listened to, and yeah, there's a whole world of cool music out there.
Definitely. And when you first started playing an instrument, was it because at school you had to take it as a requirement, or you wanted to be a rock? Like, what were the circumstances for picking up an instrument?
Well, I had a lot of energy, and I was absolutely useless at sports, so I had to put it somewhere. And it was I never wanted to be a musician. It was more, I wanted to prat around with my friends after school. So I played bass guitar. Yeah, and then at the age of 16, when they lost interest in music, that's when I gained like a genuine interest in music. Yeah, and carried on prattling around on the guitar. That's what I did, yeah.
When I go on vacation, I take notes, but my notes are like, ooh, I got breadsticks at Olive Garden. And the lady at the desk at the hotel was awesome. I think she likes me.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But how do you take those notes and then get them into a song?
It's strange because I think at one point I was toying with the idea of maybe releasing part of the journal that I kept around Europe, because there is a lot of things on the record that it was. The thing is, the record, you can't listen to it and know what I got up to. It's more just that's where the songs came from. But I read back over the journal, it is so basic. Like, I was like, I don't know how, it's really like, yeah, well, maybe it's just me because I was like, oh yeah, I did that and I did that. But yeah, I don't think it's anything special.
Was your family nervous at all? I know you weren't 15 when you went on the trip that you were talking about. I mean, you were an adult, but still young, going off on your own. Were they nervous at all? And did they say, don't talk to strangers or anything like that?
No, I kind of, see, from the age of about 15, I realised how much I love summer, right? Because summer holidays in England, you get about 6 weeks off. So I learned that what I could do was leave school on the last day, drop my bags at home and not go home for 6 weeks, stay at friends, camp out and things like that, and, you know, scare my parents a lot. So when I told them I was going to disappear, I kind of just did that. I got up and I disappeared for a month. But it was fantastic. There was only one. See, the last stop was Paris again. So from London, you go over to Paris and travel around and then back to Paris. And the last night, no, it was about 3 nights before I was meant to go home. It was a Thursday night. And what I'd done, foolishly, I hadn't planned where I was going to stay anywhere. I would just get off the train, go to a hostel and ask if they had a bed. Normally they said yes. And I hadn't planned a certain amount of money I was going to take. So I got off the train, went to the bank to get money out to go to a hospital, and I had no money. So I was like, oh no. hey ho, I'll go to hotels and just give them my passport or something. You know, they can. Everywhere was full, so I ended up sleeping in the hospital. They let me have a hospital bed. I went along. I don't speak any French. I said, "Can I sleep here?" They started checking me out like if I'd been injured, and I was like, no, just really tired, nowhere to stay. I scared my dad that night. I rang him up. I was like, think I'm homeless for the night, Dad. Just a heads up, see you when I get home.
That's awesome. All right, now I took some questions online because my questions sometimes can be a 9 out of 10, sometimes a 4 out of 10. I think the internet questions are going to be pretty good. So there is an Ask George hashtag.
Okay, what was it? Was it just hashtag Ask George?
Yeah, I just said, hey, I get to talk to George Ezra. 50% chance I'll screw it up. You guys screwed up with your questions, so you look worse than I look.
Okay.
Right? Okay. We should have energy and go start a side band together. Yeah. Okay, that's not a question. That's my statement. This is from Marissa. If you could create your own festival, name some of the bands you would want on your bill. Past or present.
Yeah. I'd have Fleetwood Mac, definitely. I need to see that. See, I managed to sort me and my whole family out with tickets to Fleetwood Mac, and then I couldn't make it, so they all went and watched Fleetwood Mac. So I need to see them. Who else would I have? I love C6 Steve. Do you know C6 Steve? See, he's an American artist, but not many people know him over here. He's got a big beard. He's an old dude, but he's any British festival, it's amazing to go and watch C6 Steve. You should check him out. Who else do I like?
Give me one more.
One more. Elvis Presley.
Elvis. All right. All right, here we go. If your guitar or Paddington Bear were both teetering off a cliff, and this could happen, you never know, and you could only save one, which would you save? And you tell everybody why Paddington Bear is mentioned in a tweet, please.
Okay, so Paddington Bear, I love him. I think he's a genius. And on his suitcase it says "Wanted on Voyage," and that's what my album's called. I found out that if you were traveling by boat, you would write "Wanted on Voyage" on your hand luggage, and everything else would go in the cargo, and you wouldn't see it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Whereas whatever had "Wanted on Voyage" on it, you would have for the whole journey. And I like the idea of people having my album for their journeys. That was the kind of the thinking of it. I'd let my guitar fly off that cliff. I don't like... I'm not very... I love my guitars. I think they're beautiful. I don't really consider myself a guitarist that much. I used to until I got a band, and then I saw my guitarist play, and I was like, oh, okay. I'd save Paddington.
Got it. Yeah. All right, this is a question. We are all in LA. George, what do you like to do when you're here in Los Angeles? And this is from Itzilk.
Itzilk.
That's the name of the person. In-N-Out, Fatburger, Disneyland, Magic Mountain, the water slides, Hollywood Boulevard, Melrose.
No, I'll be honest with you, when I first came over to LA, it kind of spun me out a little bit. When you come from a little town in England, LA is a completely different beast. I love it now, though. I look forward to coming over here a lot. What do I like to do? The thing is, I'm only ever here when I'm working. Now, when I'm working, I don't have much time off. So when I get time off, I don't do very much. I like to have a little stroll around. I do. I like to just walk. I don't know where I'm going when I leave the hotel, but...
You're the Forrest Gump of music.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. I'll take that as a compliment. So
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Absolutely
Security.
not answering that question.
All right, when you're on tour, and this is from Karina Meredith, when you're on tour and you're on the bus, are there go-to movies? Are there TV shows that you watch? Are there books? Are you binging on anything right now that's not a substance?
Don't laugh at me. I'm not very good at films. I haven't watched many. I've watched a few films, but there's one called, is it Francis Bueller?
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
I was bought that by a fan, dropped it off at a venue, and I'd never seen it before, Francis Bueller, and we watched that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah.
You like the part when he opens up the garage and he's like, the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California, less than 100 were made. My father spent 3 years restoring this vehicle. It is his love, it is his passion, it is his fault he did not lock the garage. What are you talking about, Ferris? He doesn't drive it, he just rubs it with a diaper. With a man with priorities so far out of whack doesn't deserve such a fine automobile.
Well done.
Thank you. I have no friends, I have no life.
Yeah. Do you know, I got really embarrassed and I thought you were going to say you were in the film or something. I was like, oh no, have I really dropped myself in it?
I wish, that would be the coolest.
But I do remember watching, you know, the bit when the car flies out of the window.
Yeah.
I had seen that before, but I didn't know where from, like just the clip. So, but I enjoyed that film, you'll be pleased to hear. Yeah,
nice.
I enjoyed that.
Well, listen, there are more questions to be asked, but let's end it on that note. Man, you are incredibly great and charming, and I think we need you in music because you're young and you're someone that's playing instruments and writing songs and you're not pushing buttons and your voice is just like, woo, it's booming out to the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George Ezra. I'm Stryker. This is George Ezra, everybody. And that has been the KROQ Red Bull Sound Space today. Give it up for George.